What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Serge. Yesterday I uploaded my very first YouTube video. This is number 2. I'm wearing a ski mask because I woke up this morning to 10 subscribers and I got scared. Fame scares me. And I didn't realize it would come so quickly and so swiftly. So to protect my identity, because there's a lot of shiesty individuals in Brooklyn. I'm not trying to get jumped out here. Nah, I'm kidding. But I thought today would be a great time to actually produce this video because Leica just announced a 35mm stock that will be offering. Hopefully, I think it'll be available in August, but let's see. I do work for a photography retail company. Won't say which one, but I don't have any insider news, but hopefully we do get it soon. I'll keep an eye out on it so I can jump on it. I would really, really love to use that film stock, put a roll or two through my camera, through my Leica M3. Right now at arm's reach, I have 4 color rolls that I need to drop off. There's a film shop that's family owned and operated here in Brooklyn on North Strand. It's called Photo Life, and they're amazing. So I gotta go drop off these rolls pretty soon. But going back to the Leica stock, I'm really excited about that. Leica is known for high quality. So let's see what this looks like. I mean, this is amazing. I think this is a good indication. As most of you know, film photography has made a comeback in the last few years. I remember when I started shooting film in 2016, I could get 10 rolls of Kodak Tri-X for almost $40 or $45. Now it's like $100 or even more. For a couple of years, I've been using Ilford HP5. That's my preferred film, black and white. I do enjoy Color Plus though from Kodak. Ultramax and Kodak Gold, those are pretty good film stocks as well. But yeah, so let's see what this Leica film stock has to offer. I kind of wanted to share with you my film journey. I started in 2014 with digital cameras. My first camera was a Canon T3i that I then upgraded to a Canon 6D. And then after that camera, that's when I sold all my digital gear. I bought a Leica M3 and bought a Voigtlander. A lot of people gave me a hard time, especially the Leica purists, because they're like, the point of getting a Leica is to shoot Leica glass. But I was a college student at the time. I was broke. I couldn't afford it. It took me a couple of years. Now I have a 50mm, I have a 90mm, I also have a 28. My 28mm is actually being repaired right now. I dropped it off at the Leica store in Meatpacking here in New York. So hopefully that lens will be repaired and back to me pretty soon. I miss it. It's one of my favorite. But when I was shooting with my Voigtlander, I did go to a photography event, met Jason Roman. A lot of people know him. And he actually had a 28mm Elmerant that he let me borrow at the event. And I was like, man, this guy is so nice. Like, I could have just run off with this thing. He was inside, I was outside. I was like, but he was such a nice guy. And I was able to use that lens. I put a roll through, and once I got those pictures back, I loved them. And I was like, well, I need to have this lens. So that's when I started saving. And so the 28mm came first, then the 50, and then now the 90. So on the M3, I have the 90, and on my digital Leica, I have the 50mm. And whenever I need something wide, I just throw the 28mm on there. But at the time that I committed to film, it really wasn't a popular thing to do. At the time, people thought you would be crazy, you're not gonna get clients, it doesn't make sense financially. And even now, it doesn't make financially even more. But it really taught me so much about photography, and it slowed me down and taught me how to be patient. Processing and developing in the darkroom taught me a lot of patience. Making prints taught me a lot of patience. So I wasted a lot of film. I made a lot of terrible images, but I'm really glad for all those years that I shot film and all the learning I did. It really is something that no one can take away from you. So now, like I mentioned before, I do a hybrid where I do shoot film, but I also shoot digital here and there. Right now I'm doing a project with the fire department, and I photograph way too much to 100% do those images in film. So I do a little bit of both. So right now I'm doing digital black and white images with my monochrome, and now I'm doing sometimes black and white film, but mostly color film with the fire department. So I'll definitely be showing you some of those images soon. Check out my Instagram, check out my website. I have a lot of the images there. But I just want to kind of share with you my film journey. If you're thinking about shooting film or committing to film, do what you want, try it out, buy a point and shoot first before you commit to a really expensive camera, see how you feel about it, find local shops. If you're in a process and develop, you can have someone process and develop for you and scan for you. I'm not a scanner. I hate scanning. That's one thing I will always pay someone to do for me. So if it's black and white film, I'll process and develop it myself. I go on this darkroom here in Brooklyn, and then I either pay them to scan it for me, or I'll take it to Photo Life and have them process, develop, and scan it for me as well. So see if there's any shops around you. You may live in a big city, you may live in a small town. You can also mail it in. There's a lot of places in New York that I know that do mail in, and people from out of state mail in their film, and that's an option. But if you want to spend time in the dark room and learn how to process and develop yourself, that's amazing too, you know. So that's something that I usually do during the winter. In New York, it gets really cold. I'm a Floridian, so I don't really like to be outside when it's too cold. Sorry, I got distracted by the fire truck. But when it gets really cold, that's when I read a lot of like photo books. Right now, I have Ouija Naked City. Love this book, great book. I actually wrote a paper on Ouija while I was in college. He was a phenomenal photographer. He used to have a NYPD radio in his car. I actually have an FDNY radio with me. When I hear that there's a fire in my neighborhood, I leave and I take photos at fires. Unfortunately, there's a lot in Brooklyn and there's a lot in my area. So it's not, you know, I don't get happy or excited when that happens. But when it happens, I want to be there. I like to photograph the fire department in a positive way. And that's pretty much like my goal. That's my current project, but I've worked on so many different things. So check out my Instagram, check out my website, look at all the different projects and phases I've gone through all the phases of photography you can even imagine, from color to black and white, film, digital. I have a huge archive, so feel free to go through my Instagram, look at all the photos. If there's something in particular you want to see, I'm more than happy to share that with you. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me on this journey on YouTube. Wish you the best. Let's see how that 35mm film stock comes out, and we'll definitely do another video on that. Take care.